Okay, listen up. Uh, if you master these three skills and you do them consistently for even 2 to 10 years, right? 2 to 10 years, then you can literally go from broke to well on your way to becoming one of the most successful entrepreneurs in whatever industry you happen to be interested in. And I've literally studied billionaires, okay? Like that's one of my hobbies, and obviously my vlog is called the Renegade Billionaire Vlog. I'm not a billionaire. I've studied billionaires. Now I did used to be a Zimbabwean billionaire back when almost every Zimbabwean was a billionaire in the hyperinflationary days. But I'm not a billionaire, and but I've studied billionaires, right? It's one of those things, and I literally put some of their lessons, some of the lessons I learned from the billionaires. I literally put in the second book that I wrote, which is titled "Unleash the Ninja Version of Yourself." It's actually available for free, by the way. Um, and there's a link on my YouTube channel where you can actually download that book and get it completely free. So just look for it on my YouTube channel. It's Unleash the Ninja Version of Yourself. So these three skills, uh, they are not obvious. A lot of people don't want to do them. But if you're an entrepreneur, you owe this to yourself, right? Like you really owe it to yourself to study these skills, start to apply them. All the money is in the application. Knowing the skills won't do nothing for you if you don't apply these actual skills to do something with them in your business and things like that. So without any further delay, let's get right into the first of these three skills. And these print money, by the way, these do great things for you. So the first one of these is building a brand. And I want to give you an example showcase of this skill. Steve Jobs. What did he build? What did Steve Jobs leave behind when he passed away? He left behind Apple Computer, Apple Inc., the iPhones, the iPods, iPads, I this, I that, I everything. You had a movement of people trying to name their products or companies I something. Just because Steve Jobs had popularized that with what he did with Apple, he created a brand. Guys, if you can create a brand, you can literally make billions of dollars. All right. If you can't create a brand, uh, unless you have big government connections, it's gonna be really hard to make a billion. It's better to do it without government connections, right? You want to be a good businessman who is actually contributing something to society, and not just siphoning money off of society with some shady deals. So that's what I have for you guys. Look at Steve Jobs. He built a brand. Guys, you want to build a brand. If your business is struggling to grow, in a lot of cases, the problem is simply that you haven't built a brand, right? You need to get into the program of building a brand. The other thing is you want to be building equity, right? It's a good thing to do work for income. It's all right. We all gotta do that. But at a certain point, you want to translate that into equity. The more equity you can get in something, in a brand, the better off you're gonna be. You wanna imagine if Steve Jobs just did some contracting for Apple but never owned any stock. You wouldn't make too much money, right? You would make maybe a little bit from his contracting work. But what you want to do, guys, is you want to build a brand. That's a skill that literally pays 10,000 bucks an hour when you do it at the highest levels. It pays way more than that, but baseline figure for reference, okay, let's say 10,000 bucks an hour is what you can get with that. So that's just the first skill. Now the next skill that you really want to master, and I would focus on the first one first before jumping into this second one, because like these are not interchangeable. They do different things for you. You don't want to skip to one without taking care of the other one. And remember what I said. I said they're only gonna make you money if you actually do them, if you actually put them into practice. If you don't put them into practice, you're still gonna be stuck. So start taking action, guys. So the second skill, and our showcase figure for this one is Elon Musk. Elon Musk, man. So what Elon Musk did is he literally taught himself how to make rockets from books, and that's the great skill, guys. Is self-education. The education you get in school is all well and good, and I myself I have gotten a lot of education from the academic system. I value it for what it is, guys. It gives you a lot of different skills that you can build upon, but it's your responsibility to build stuff on top of that, right? Like if we lay a solid foundation, you can build on it with gold or with silver or with precious metals, precious stones, or you can build on it with hay, wood, stubble. That's what the Bible says. And that's what education does for you. It gives you a foundation to build upon, but it's on you to put on the self-education. So you need to go way beyond what they taught you in high school, way beyond what they teach you in whatever education you might have done, way beyond the self-education. So when you look at Elon Musk, he did not rely on what they taught him in the schools. He started learning from books, literally how to build rockets, and that's how he built SpaceX. So that's the big one. Now look at how much money SpaceX has made him and how much it's worth. Literally billions and billions of dollars. This is a skill that people are not gonna come to you and just try to give you money to do it, to do something like this for them. You actually have to go out on your own without anybody paying you and do the stuff. So it follows the principle that I shared with you guys, where I said these skills only pay you not for knowing them, but for actually doing them and putting them into practice. So that's skill number 2. You do that well, that can take you into the billions. But you gotta do skill number 1 first. Don't skip skill number 1 and just think you're just gonna learn stuff. You need to do what skill number 1 told you. Now, skill number 3, guys, and this can print bank for you. But again, these skills are not interchangeable. If you lack the other ones, you could be stuck for life. You really wanna do each of them, right? You really wanna do them, if possible, in sequence. Make sure you do all of them. It's no use doing just one. So skill number 3 is our reference figures for this Mr. Beast, Michael Jackson, and Michael Jordan. What did all 3 of these guys have in common? Is they are world famous figures. And look at how much money each of them made. Michael Jackson sold a ton of music, became one of the biggest music stars of all time. Michael Jordan, same thing, became a famous basketball player, made a ton of money in basketball and selling Jordans and different kinds of merch and things like that. Same thing with Mr. Beast, became a world famous YouTuber. Has made a lot of money with these different Mr. Beast brands. So the principle and the skill here is becoming world famous, guys. You really wanna hone your craft at becoming world famous. Becoming world famous pays a lot of money. You can see this in the, for example, in the U.S. presidential elections. You look at what all these candidates are doing. They're trying to spread their name far and wide. Like you look at Joe Biden was able to become really world famous in the run-up to the 2020 elections. And even before then, when under Obama, when he was vice president. But to become president, he had to become the guy where people don't say, Joe Biden, who is Joe Biden? I don't know who Joe Biden, and they say, oh, he's the vice president. Don't you know who that guy? He had to become a household name. Same thing with Donald Trump, right? You saw in his campaign, he's always trying to get his name out there. You've seen that with Kamala Harris. she's trying to become just as famous as Joe Biden, just as famous as Trump or any other candidate. So name recognition plays a big role just in the elections. It plays a big role even when we go to the shops to buy something. Like we're trying to buy a burger. Are you gonna buy just a no-name burger, or are you gonna go to the your favorite burger brand like the McDonald's or KFC, or are you gonna go to a Burger King or something like that? Like brand recognition, name recognition, and that comes down at an individual level. You gotta become famous. You gotta become famous, not just in your niche. I know a lot of uh, business gurus say, "Oh, you gotta become famous in your niche." I'm telling you, you gotta not become famous in your niche. You gotta become world famous. That's If you do that, like the three reference figures I gave you, Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mr. Beast, then you can take this thing to the limit, guys. You can take it to the moon, and it'll do wonders for your business. But remember what I said, guys. You want to do each of these three. Don't just do one and think you're gonna cut it that way. If you um, these systems build on one another. You're not gonna go very far with a car that has only one wheel. You need at least four wheels to get far. You need at least four wheels to compete in the Formula One races. Same thing here. You want to take all these three and actually apply them. And remember the other key thing I said, guys. If you just know this stuff and you don't actually apply it, you ain't gonna make any big money. So really pay attention to that. You actually want to apply the stuff that we're talking about here. And if you need some resources, like I said, the other book was actually free just on my channel. It's right free on my channel. And there are some additional free resources as well that you can grab to grow your own business. The links will be in the description.